compile that time, A and B greater. Okay, therefore it will be so-called data set. A first followed by B, going up. Okay, then once next line is it run main. Main inside it create variable x, y, z largest. So the sequence one x, y, z largest, and it's always in the what stack. Okay, so therefore it must be in the stack. Okay, so the mind of sequence is you know A is 10, B is 20, then you create three variables x, y, z, and the largest. You may not want to fill the number first. You run through the program sequential. You put x, y, z largest, and then you see the line of code. Now it's what x equals to A, y equals to B, z equals to 30. Now you can fill the number. Whereby x equals to 10, y equals to 20, z equals to 30 to fill the number. Because larger, can you fill or not? May not. Okay? So larger, can you fill or not? So down here, largest is what equals to sum 3. Sum 3 will be the one that execute first. So sum 3 will go into this one. So it will before you go in, because it's a function, you need to what? Copy and paste. That's what we call what? Call by what? Value. So you copy the value of x, y, z, okay? And therefore you copy x, y, z in, okay? So x, y, z, largest maybe go ahead and pick. So you have x, y, z, okay? And 10, 30, 30. Before you go to the function, it will what? Save the address such that it will jump back. Okay, so it save the address and eventually go into create another variable called max value. Max value is where? Max value is this guy create max value. What's the value? X plus y plus z. You will be calculated. Very simple next one. Okay, so it will be what? X plus y plus z is 10, 20, 10, 20, 30, 30 plus 30, 60. Okay, so therefore you have 60 here. Okay. So of course, down here, this is your sample quiz. In your actual quiz, some students get it wrong because I put an arrow sign here. Right? I put an arrow sign, program start here. Right? Program start here. This is a quiz mark. That means you haven't come back to this set. So Z should be no value, should be any value. So some of you straight away calculate A minus B equal to Z. Of course, on paper is correct, okay, but however the program haven't go up, so it's wrong.
But when we write the based on like the sequence or based on the program?
Based on program.
Based on program.
Yeah, so if the program stop here, you should stop here. Z should be no number, any number, let's stop here. So that is why some of you multiple choice get it wrong. Okay, so therefore the answer will be this number B. Z equals to big number. That cannot be taken because it's extract from the compiler. Okay?
They must write data segment, stack variable.
Yeah, you need to put data segment.
Must label.
This is your quiz move.
Must label.
Yeah, must label. Okay. So this is 5 minutes job, finish already. Very fast, 5 minutes. Okay. My paper within 1 hour, finish already. But once you stay, please stay until 2 hours. Okay. So you will see why it's 1 hour job later on. Okay. So this one is maybe part 1A. Right?
1 hour for you. 2 hours.
No, definitely you will see later on why. Okay, so this is 1A, so far over there, okay? Okay, good. So 1A, understand, refer to a letter note or refer to, or rather also must study this quiz, sample quiz. What is how to create memory map? Because in multiple choice quiz is given to you. In exam, you draw it.
Is that like?
Huh?
Like
For what?
There's
There's no formula.
what makes the guide?
No. Because we don't have maths. Our maths is complete one. So short time one.
But what to write on the
What to write? No lah. No such thing one. No guide. Simple one. If got guide right, means 100% get on
But
already.
you draw the box for us. You draw the box for us.
No. That was multiple choice. Maybe online have lah. No. Last year have.
So must remember.
Yeah, last year because it's COVID issue right now, exam is multiple choice. So last year exam is 100% multiple choice. Yeah.
Then what different? You also copy what?
No, now it's now phase 2 already. Last time is phase 1. Different thing. Now it's moving to phase 3. So this is the first time. That's why the good thing is this exam 30%. Okay. So last round is 70 but multiple choice during COVID.
And then MCQ better.
And MCQ,
What you mean?
hey,
You roll dice ah.
so guys, you split through the statistic. Do you think that your quiz 1, quiz 2, you score well in written response or multiple choice? If the multiple choice is simple, of course you can score that. If the multiple choice is tricky, it will test you a lot of concept. A lot of people will not able to make it. So those that really study very hard, understand well, will be getting full mark. So actually multiple choice is good for me. It can be differentiated nicely. Those that very good one will be 40 marks, for example. I saw a couple this round, a lot of people get, some will get 40 marks. Okay. Oh, quiz. Quiz 2. I saw the statistic is quiz 2 multiple choice, a lot of people get it right. Haven't. So this is question 1A. So as I discussed with another prof just this morning, based on what we have seen through yesterday, you have worked very hard to submit. Okay, during the last 2 hours, we decided that I didn't show anything that's not supposed to.
Why never mind lah. We keep it quiet. Between us lah, between these four.
But war got so what? The lead one.
It's more no.
All the ventilation. So last, I should say Monday I say 10 questions, but after discussion, after this morning, we think that you done very well for assignment and in last minute, some even work very hard to submit 2:30 AM. I cannot wait already, I sleep already.
Okay, how many questions now?
Because now we go down to 6. 6
Wow.
to 4. 6 to 4. Only 6 to 4. If you travel enough, you already spot on which 4 already.
Wait, you don't tell us lah, which 6?
Now I tell you 6 lah.
You won't tell us.
Now I tell you.
Yes.
So on Monday I say question tutorial 1 totally you focus on this quiz. Right?
What?
Tutorial 1, page 32, right?
Focus on the quiz.
Focus on the quiz question lah, memory map. That one much more, even much more straightforward. Remember, tutorial 1 I say that, for example, in Monday I say, phrase look for example, I say look for this so-called, ask you to refer to tutorial 1, page 32, go very long, okay, but this is to understand. Page 32, from here to understand this one, okay? But this is practical. Is it useful or not for exam? Okay? Of course, this one is useful like if you really time, practice this so-called memory map in terms of text segment, data segment, DS segment. Okay? So please make sure that all the code, okay, forgot to mention, you cut and paste all the code in the text segment. Okay? So then this data segment, DS segment is the key. Okay? So which means that by right, when you produce a solution out on Wednesday next week, you cut and paste your text inside this text. Then the rest will be usual data segment, DSS segment. Okay, and from there, of course, that's why the most easy to study is basically to tell you is for your question 1A, you just focusing on study is sort of study this one can already. Okay, because this one is called ABCD. You know where to put it, okay? You roughly know what's the structure, things will be okay already. And then just put the text. Below the text segment, you just put the code inside. Okay.
What you mean put?
Huh?
We write down inside the text segment.
Yeah. So you just
But the code is
copy
given
lah.
lah. The code is given lah.
Code is given lah. Code is like that lah.
So we rewrite the code.
Rewrite the code lah. Or you don't need to rewrite everything lah. You just say that. I say I know that. At least to me, I know that you know code is put down there. Just maybe just put include something, no need to write the rest, but just put some example. No need to rewrite everything. But at least to tell me that you know, you see code is inside this text segment. Okay, ready? Can okay, so okay, ladies okay? Okay. So 1A is memory map. 1B is tutorial 2, question 2. That time I tell you on Monday, track it off, don't need, take it away. Tutorial 2, question 2, no need, we jump straight to tutorial 3, question 1. Okay? Tutorial 3, yeah. So tutorial 3, question 1 is this guy here. Okay, one question. I say that phrase, this may be one of the possible questions that come out. And question, if you know, understand my style, okay, you know that every question I have a sequence one. Question 1 is focusing on early chapter. Question 2 is later part before the trimester break. Then question 3 is after trimester break. Okay, so this one is starting point. No, this type of question, right? As mentioned in the academic exam, you only do pseudocode and C code. Okay, only one question have both. Need to do pseudocode and C code. The rest is either pseudo.
Also, you won't tell us which one will come out. You just need to know both.
Correct. Yeah.
Pseudo and C.
Yeah. So of course you can guess yourself lah, which one is most likely to have both lah.
This one both. This one both. This one the calculation.
This one is let's go through this question will test you beginning, okay, how to write the progress, okay, what is progress, okay. So therefore using this example, of course this example you already do until you want to vomit already in the assignment. Why you MSPC, okay, the linear regression one, which means that W1 S1 plus W2 S2, all these is linear regression. Only here is only one dimension, one X and one C. When in your assignment, you have a lot of W. W means the M lah. Okay. Now then, okay, you have 9X in your assignment. Now in the exam, only one M and one X. That's all. Right? One straight line. Okay. So we have one straight line. Given that this one straight line, so your task is I want to go through the question again. Because we already go through. Basically, in summary, is asking you that please ask the user to enter original line, gradient, and the original line worksheet in the set. And then user also need key in S naught, Y naught. Please produce out the equation of the line that is parallel to this original, which is this line, that pass through this point. At the same time, please produce a perpendicular line to this original line, but that is pass through this point. Okay? So this is a task of this so-called question, and we are told to do an algorithm, pseudocode and C code. Of course, right now in the exam, as mentioned, if you see through the answer, all this problem definition from the is no need. This one is just to give you the analytical thinking, especially towards your assignment and also your future programming course. Okay, because we want to impart analytical thinking. Okay, analytical thinking means break things into parts and then analyze. Yeah. So therefore, when this one in the exam, no need straight away. Just straight away go to pseudocode. So you can see here, this start here, so short. 5 minutes finish already. Okay. So which means that you must know, begin. Ask the user to read, to key in gradient 1. See just y-intercept of the original line and the point that pass through S naught, Y naught. And then later on, if you know that gradient of parallel line is the same gradient, so you push into M2 and then calculate the C2. Similarly, perpendicular line gradient is always inverse of the original line, minus push to M3 and then calculate C. Then later you play on this line. So the C code is very short. This guy here cannot be taking more than 5 minutes. Even you take 1 minute, right? 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Cannot be so slow, right? Yeah. So this part here is pseudocode. Okay. How about C code? C code is so as mentioned, there's one question that you need to do both. Okay. Depend on how
Gaussian.
Huh?
Gaussian.
Huh?
The Gaussian.
Origin.
This one question.
Probability.
Question 4. That one.
No, that one is not part of the ask you to do, right? Let me go through.
I study one. All wrong.
That's good. Actually, it's good if you study all. Then you become the exam hall more prepared.
Last minute, change.
Last week cannot change one. Already go to external review already. Okay. So you can see here in exam, comments is not important unless you're very desperate. You don't know what to do. Okay. So in the exam, right? Don't give me a, because as much possible we want to give marks. Okay. So every part feel something. Okay. Make sure you got something that is justified for me to put give 1 mark, 2 marks, etc. Okay. Huh? Pseudo-code, no need to put comment. Okay. Unless you're really desperate. Okay. So if not desperate, because normally we don't mark. Okay. So all the comment not necessary. If you remove all the comment, actually it's very short. Finish. Okay. So therefore, it means that this maybe likelihood to be have both pseudo-code and C-code maybe, right, for you to confirm on 9 December. Okay. So in that, right? So question 1, and you see here is to give you the insight to how to write the program. Okay. So that is always come on exam question. We always say this part is test you how to write the program. Second part is you go to okay. So this will be on the question. Okay. And of course, if you in the exam hall, one way to study to memorize code, right? Don't memorize line by line. Memorize in terms of structure. Okay, that is so. Therefore, example pseudocode, you must, if you really break down a day, at least pseudocode must have begin and end. Okay, at some point. Don't know how it mark. Okay, so and then C code, you always remember, you always have something called preprocessor. Okay, don't try to, even you don't know how to write code, at least you have this guy called include. Okay, this guy called integer main, square bracket, and then with the structure, mean if you forgot, but then at least you have the skeleton for this mark. So similarly, when study, remember the skeleton, then go with that. Okay, this is how you later on next part talk about function. This is how you memorize or how you understand. First, go to the high level called structure, the structure of the program, and then go to the next. Okay, and this also why. Next time when you go to your C#, okay, now you already C# expert already, right? Okay, C# expert is always also like OOP, always object first, then you turn go to detail. Expert already, right? SolidWorks, right? C++ is even more difficult. The most difficult. C++ is the most difficult programming language. So you expert already. This one is like today. Okay, so this is question 1. Rather, this is tutorial question 1. Okay, talking about how to write a program. Okay, so without further ado, we go to tutorial 4. Okay, tutorial 4. We say that we have 2 questions, 2 and 3. Which one will come out to 50%? Okay? So you need to think through.
2 or 3.
Yeah, so what is tutorial 4? We say that inside here, got 3 questions or 4 questions. Question 1, this is what you say, already tested. Quiz. Okay? So we say no need, you will not be tested. Okay? So as mentioned, I will ask you to study question 2 and question 3. Question 4, no need, because question 4 is towards your assignment. Already done until very expert, until you vomit already. Right? So troubleshooting. Actually, when you ask me to invite me to the Zoom session, when troubleshooting, there's always, I go through so many Zoom sessions with respective teams, I always find one common fault means you forgot to initialize. Why you forgot to initialize, everything goes haywire. Right? So that is a common fault in the assignment. Okay? you forgot to initialize, your program looks very okay. But you forgot to initialize to 0, everything go haywire. Okay? So this one only, because this one retested is the assignment. Okay? So therefore in exam, you only focus on question 2 and 3. Okay? So which one will come up 50%? You can guess. So question 2, what is it about?
Which one you think about?
After right?
No, I ask.
So question 2 is what? Question 2 is talking about this one also you seek until you do until you seek already, right? Sigma function. Sigma function.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 1 divided by 1 plus e to the power minus z. Okay? So this is your sigma function. Okay, part of it. Okay? So this one already well tested. Okay? So I didn't say anything. I say well tested means that you are very good already. Okay? So now this question, it means that you are asking to bring your own exponential, okay, for example sigma function. Okay? At the same time, please compare with the whatever with the standard library, the exponential, correct stoppage exponential, and where you stop at something like MAE, stop at less than 0.25. Okay? So similarly, as long as it's less than 1 times 10 power minus 6, you stop it. So this program itself, you need to write algorithm, pseudocode and C. If it really come out, as mentioned, it's either pseudo or C. These two only. Okay? Pseudo or C. Right? So if you flip through the answer, what is this question about? This question is only testing. This question is, okay, we skip all the way. This question is only testing. It goes with the pseudocode. Pseudocode is very short. You see here, one time. This question, you can see that part 2 after the how to write program is before semester break. We talk about how to do all these control root, if then else, do while loop, etc. At the same time, also do function. Okay. This guy here only do control loop only. That means you only need to wait until the limit stop. Okay. So this is like ME. You keep doing the update the weight until the ME less than 0.25. So this part is the control loop, and of course similar to your assignment, because a lot of people forgot to initialize the sum. Okay, example you initialize a variable because every time you got sum equals to sum plus something. This sum starting point equals the value. If you don't initialize, it can be any random number. So therefore the program goes haywire. Okay, in your assignment, which I fire up a lot of problems most of the time. Okay? So similar here, I will reward those that is able to do initialize. Okay? If you're able to initialize in the beginning, you didn't forgot, okay, then you get definitely will reward. Similar to quiz 1. Quiz 1, a lot of students also didn't initialize. Those that initialize will get the bonus point. Okay? Yeah, for the written response. Okay? So please make sure programming, everything. C is very dangerous programming language. Everything you do initialize, you can go haywire. Okay, unlike Python, Java. Okay, so this one I will not go through, but this one is testing control loop. I leave it to you to go through before. So in this program, it asks you to do pseudocode, how to memorize, it's always know begin and end as a structure first, then one by one go in. Okay, so you should memorize that. Okay, beginning what I'm supposed to do, read. Every time is read, then every time is compare first, then loop, and then output. Okay, similar to your assignment, analytical thinking. Input, processing, output. Right. So this is pseudocode. If you see code right, close over, open the correct one. So you can see that exponential also very short. Without the comments, okay, it is actually very short. So as mentioned, in this question is either C or pseudo. So which means that it's very short. Within 10 minutes, you should be able to finish. Okay. Okay. So this one question will come out now. This is only control loop. If you see the other question, it is more than that. Okay. So will that be the likely candidate? Okay. Okay, number this one. Is it a likely candidate? Because this, I told you I delete away to Dorothy question 2, which is similar to this guy. So I delete away because this one is repeat here. Okay? So which means that you can guess yourself. So repeat here, but then this one cover everything. So down here, this is the binomial theorem. This is very related to your real life. Okay? Real life. So example right now is the assignment you do. Okay, although it's machine learning, but I can change to this algorithm. Okay? Whereby I can use binomial theorem. Example, in your assignment, we talk about patient, okay? Whether the probability of patient, the semen stratification is healthy or not healthy. Okay? So therefore, X can be healthy specimen. Okay? So X can be healthy. The probability of you are healthy is maybe A. So Y stands for the probability is not healthy. So how to get not healthy? Can someone tell me in terms of maths, you go through maths already? If my probability of not healthy, my probability of healthy is A, probability of not healthy is what? A. 1 minus A. Okay, correct. So example X is A, Y will be 1 minus A. Okay, correct? Okay. So if some question come up talking about probability, don't be surprised, just apply accordingly. X maybe represent probability of healthy. Y represent probability of not healthy, which is 1 minus A. Okay, then the rest will follow suit. Don't change example. So down here, if you follow through, therefore this one you can see that not only I have this so-called control loop, I have function, recursive function, and ask you to write algorithms, pseudocode and C code. Of course, in our exam, only pseudocode and C code. So you can see here, this is the, of course we can see all the way if you want to study. The beginning is to understand. So you can see here, it is actually very short. Okay? Either pseudo or C. Right? Some more lah, pseudo or C only lah. But the function, two more functions. Not a lot. That means finish already. If you know the algorithm, you say C++ expert already. Right? So down here you can see that how to memorize such thing is you must. That's why the analytical portion come in. You must break into parts. How to memorize or how to analyze is you know that the program always have begin and end, the main program. Then later on, the program itself, you want to memorize, you know that your main program only call people to do things. Okay? So therefore, this is how you memorize. So you call people to do things. Example, what you do is to break values. Maybe X represents some probability, Y represents the not getting that probability from minus A or whatever. Then N. And then you count it, you activate this function, input S, Y, N in. And then result print out. Then this one way to memorize. Main is always do nothing one, call people one. Okay? And this guy here call one person, call X plus Y. Okay? And what is then later you remember. In order to remember pseudocode or C code, you remember the structure first. How many functions is there? Okay? You don't think about the meat first. So you know that I have this function called X plus Y, I have this function called binomial, I have this function called power. So you know that eventually you have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 functions. These 4 functions, what you do is related to the maths. Because this maths given. Example. So how to remember is that this big brother overall do anything. This one definitely got one function that do everything. Okay? You have one function that do all summing one. One is a summation. Okay? Then, yes. Then one function that do everything summation. Then secondly, you have another function that do this nk. And the other function that do factorial. The other function that do power. So-called function. Okay? Okay? Yeah, 4.
So question 3 lah.
Don't know lah. Just how to memorize. I just teach you how to memorize only.
Yeah lah, that's why you're teaching us.
This is pointer exchange. Doesn't link to exam maybe. All questions right. But you ask me how to memorize now. So I use this example as illustration.
So this is how to memorize.
For this only lah. Question 2 no need to
All
memorize.
this type is also similar method. How to memorize. Okay. Remember first, you have begin and end, main function. Then you have another. Then you always say that it's rather the main function call big function. This big function, what you do is call everything and do submissions. And then you do this multiplication 1, 2, 3, which means that definitely we have one function that do this factorial. Okay, and this factorial, we only have one function do this factorial. Because this guy here only do this divide only, or separate divide. And you also have another function that do multiplication of x to power something. So therefore, you refer back, you remember the core function. Main is 1, then later you have big brother x plus y that do summation. Okay? And I also reward, as mentioned, I will reward someone that always initialize one. Okay? Because if this one sum up to 0, this one will always be y. Okay? So as mentioned, it keeps recursively add. Okay? Previous one plus the next binomial, the next power, x for the x, the next power for y. So if the question come up, please remember to change all these x and y accordingly. If it really come up, right? And then the other binomial, as mentioned, you see here, it do nothing. It just try to call the other brother that do factorial, factorial n, factorial k, factorial n minus k, and then it just sum. It just do this multiplication and division. That's all. The one that do the job is just do factorial. This is Stanford, okay, and the power here. So it means that this form. This type, if you remember well, you understand well, this is within 15 minutes finish. So therefore, just answer question 1. Pseudo code, pseudo or C code, can be this one, almost 15 minutes. Very easy one. 6 choose 4, or rather, you it's not enough 4 choose 4. 4 choose 4, it's not enough. Right? Okay, so the C code itself, you can see the binomial. Don't need to write comments. Okay, not given until you really give me that thing. Reward compassionate to give you some marks. Okay, consolation prize. Okay, if not, no marks one. Don't give me comments. Not important. Give me the bid. Okay, as mentioned, if you want to give me the bid, include. Okay, include and whatever easier bid. Okay. So please give me the structure, how to memorize if you really come up. Okay, as mentioned, it's just pseudo code and C code. Okay. So you must know that maybe you can guess yourself. Am I a compassionate person? Compassionate person, will I give me such question? Which one to give? Is it C or pseudo code? Okay.
Both lah.
I will not test two. Either one of them.
But you say
or
one
C.
question got 2.
Huh?
You say one question got 2.
One question or 2. The rest of the question is either pseudo or C. So you see here all the backshot, okay, main function is just to take input, call the function x plus y. Okay, give it comments, straight away, this one also backshot, okay. So you can see that take away the comments, actually all can be achievable in 15 minutes. And of course, your based on what you've done, your quiz 2 assignment, you should be very comfortable already.
What if we write the code? But it's up to me. How I'm supposed to follow the structure.
Which one?
But it won't run like just like the structure is that. But it won't run.
Why you don't run?
Like when we write
Because syntax error.
sometimes
Yeah, I will not penalize if not serious. Okay. So this is, as mentioned, this is one of the questions that will come up. Okay. So now I already go through. So your exam is very simple. I put Monday is your max. Okay. After you rest a bit, then go to study. My one maybe Wednesday is your this paper. So at full Tuesday to go through. And you study time maybe spend 2 hours finish everything. 6 hours, 2 days. 2 days to memorize. So long.
what's that? You don't want to tell us to share it?
Every time you tell us the whole
2 or 3?
Huh?
2 or 3?
Probability 50% lah. Now, you can see this question itself, there's what? There's control loop, there's function, and recursive function. The first one only test what we call control loop. Okay, so which one do I test to be bigger? You can think through yourself.
Today you handsome, very generous. I think question 2.
Which one? Which one? Oh, question
Just
2.
one function.
Okay, so exam must be holistic. Okay, so which one I will test?
This one now obviously,
Ah.
you want to test our knowledge one.
So
Hey,
So this is
hit him.
huh?
Hit him.
So now we go through tutorial 3, question 1 already. We go through tutorial 4, question 2 and 3. So as mentioned, just now we talk about 1A, we talk about 1B, 1C I will not tell you because 1C is for me to differentiate A and B students. And all these C part, right, actually I drop him everywhere. Okay, if you see through my videos on Monday. Okay, so those that have my lecture note that have all those cartoon one, the brain one, the question mark one, that is most likely taught it. Okay? Because that is to test the knowledge of students understanding the particular activity. So let's go through then 2A. 2A is 2A is either question 2 or 3. What is 2A? 2A is definition. The definition, if you look through your oral participation, you will be able to catch the hint. Okay, this topic is talking about what? This topic is talking about control loop. This is talking about function. Okay, function. So therefore, you can go through your oral participation. Which one is really talking about the particular way they're talking about control loop and talking about function. Okay, all these called by value, called by reference. It's also important to understand what is that and advantage, disadvantage. So therefore, please go through your oral participation in terms of 2A. Okay, and 2C, I will not tell you also because it's all those notes that have those icon one, the question mark or the green one. Okay? So 2A, obvious, is definition. Okay, and you can look through your oral participation, what's that? Okay? Call by value, call by reference, on the oral participation, what did I ask for, and all these control loop, what did I ask for. Okay, so let's move on to question 3 of the exam paper. And tutorial 6, we don't carry, we don't do, we delete away. Okay, so don't need to study. We go straight to tutorial 8, tutorial 9. Okay, tutorial 9 is something we can start after the semester 3, which is called pointer and string. Okay, question 3 is talking about pointer and string for the exam paper. Okay.
What? Question?
Okay, tutorial, I ask you to study question 1 and 3. Okay, question 1, question 2 did only study because it's already tested last year paper. Okay, so you only focus question 1. Question 1 look familiar? Yeah. Okay, so question 1 is you already tested in quiz 2. No, question 5. Okay, of course, as I told some of you, a lot of people, I don't know, I think it's, I don't know which person. Okay, a lot of people, a lot of students just wholesale copy the tutorial answer over to the quiz. So in the question, I didn't ask for sorting, you do sorting for me. The question didn't ask me none of this one, you also take for me. Of course, I didn't analyze, I just mark accordingly. Okay, extra tick is a bonus. Okay, okay. So this one already been tested. Will it come or not? Not sure. I told you next side. This one quiz 2, right? Written response, question 5.
So if quiz come out, exam come out?
Huh?
If quiz come out, exam come out?
Don't know. Maybe exam I want to maybe help you. You do already means very good. You come out.
The formula different now.
You don't know.
Quiz 2 got square root.
Which one? This one don't have. Maybe this one coming out. Double square root? I don't know. So this is one question. Then focus on. Since you already go through, I do not want to go through already because you already experienced quiz 2, like the sample quiz. So next one I want to go through is this one called question 3. This one is, first one is talking about pointer, second one is slightly more advanced called string pointer. Okay, so what does this one? This is very important application. As mentioned, exam, we always have real life application. So example, how to relate real life application for string compare means that, example, I have a Word document. Okay, inside Word document for exam paper. I want to search the exam paper. I'm the so-called admin. I want to search for exam paper for functional, fundamental programming. So I want to search a keyword called fundamental programming. So I need to enter a string called fundamental programming. Then I search through all the document, which one is fundamental programming. That's called string 2. Okay, so maybe the first one is string 2 has a list, has fundamental programming, have the words called, have the sentence called mathematics, and the words called electronic fundamental of electronic.
Yes.
So many. So which one can match the fundamental of programming? So that's called string compare. So like Google search engine, when you enter your entry in, this entry string will send to Google server. Google server need to match your string to the database you have throughout the whole world. Then take it out. It's using string compare. Of course that one is more complicated, I just ignore it. Okay? So like handphone. I don't know I passed to who lah. I think during quiz 2. Because some screw up during quiz 2, I passed my handphone to him, okay, and later on he saved his own directory. Okay, and then past 1 week I received some call, okay, because assignment lah. So therefore in your own directory you pick up my name, you want to in the search field you key my name, example Dr. Xiao. Then later compare to the list of people like Dr. Fang Ho, myself, whatever, or your Dr. Jimapo, okay? So which one can match, right? Yeah, so this is how you do string compare. Okay, start. So down here, you will ask to write a string compare using the standard library, string.h and your own string compare. Okay? The standard library one is string compare, maybe you think your one string compare one. We will not go through detail, but let's go through. As mentioned, it's only sudo or C, that's all. Okay, so we will not go through, we only sudo, go through sudo. This one, this question 3. Okay, so this one is yourself. So you can see that this one, it really comes pseudo code so short only. Okay. So down here, you can see all the how you memorize. So I just it's normal trick. Okay. Without any question. First thing, memorize the structure. Okay. Always begin. And then you must remember how many functions you have. In this case, only one function. Because in the main, I only call one. So I read into string, example fundamental programming. Second string, this two is a pointer. Okay, and then this string itself will go into a standard library called string compare, and then come a result. If the two string is matched, the result is 0 because no differences. Okay, if the string is not the same, the result has some number because one A minus B equals to minus 1 number. If AA 65 minus 65 is still 0. If everything match, everything is 0. Okay? So therefore, you just need to call a string compare one and then create the result one result. So down here you can see that this function called string first and second, okay, is a function, and then I will give a reward student that able to say to create a pseudo for pointer. So down here it says that first pointer or first string is reference to what? It point to a character data type and point to where? Point to the address of first string. Second one is a pointer that point to character data type point to where? The address of second string. So this one will reward you if you able to write out. And of course down here, you already go through quiz 2. First pointer is first string is a pointer. If I asterisk means what? Value, okay? Which means that I want to access the value inside the memory location point by first string. So first thing here, while will execute if the statement is true. So what makes this statement is true? What will make it stop? How to make it false? String is what? Character. So how to know when it will stop? The number. Terminating now. /0. Okay. So this one is keep looping until the value inside is a /0. Because /0 means what? 0. 0 means what? False. 0 means false. 1 means true. So any number, A, B, C, D is always true because of number. Okay. So therefore I keep looping. And down here, what is it? What does this mean? As long as the first string, the value in the first string the value in the memory location point, the first string is not equals to the value that in the memory location point by second string, it will then else. This statement. Okay. So what this means is that I have take the difference. Okay, correct. ASCII difference. So down here, if I have down here, example, I have fundamental of programming. Okay. Okay. So this is the first string. So it points to this guy, first string. First string. Then also have fundamental. What electronic, right? So number, same thing. So this is second string. So in the if then else will kick in if f is not equal to f. Okay. So there's a difference. Okay. So you will keep. So therefore that the e will not be repeated. So you will execute every time you will increment. Okay. U. Okay. And then n compared to n until you go to this so-called p and so-called E, so you say that P and E is different. P stands for some ASCII number, E stands for some ASCII number. This one minus is not 0. So therefore, it will execute the if then else. Okay? So
You
then,
must remember.
huh?
The number.
No need. No need. So my course is very relaxed one. So down here you can see that this guy, as long as the string is different, it will start to minus. Okay? So it means got number. And then I will reward those that able to initialize result. Down here, as a typo, result didn't initialize. Okay, must push to 0. Okay. Then this one keep looping until the middle string. And then at the same time, you see the address plus 1 means that finish already, go to the next value. Okay, go to the next one. Okay, until everything finished. Okay, so in terms of pseudocode, okay, I forgot to tell one of the, tell the group, okay, maybe okay, so if you see through this code, right, actually is very short only. Minus away the so-called the comments, you can see that what you do here is standard IOH, you put the string because I use the compare. Okay, and then size, how long is the string? Okay, 100 words or 100 character or how many character? Okay, up to you. But function prototype. So now you can see that I have two string, okay, 2 pointer, it point to a character data type in front of constant. So what is constant mean? Okay, so if this type of ask you to write C code, maybe I will also reward those that are able to put constant inside. So why do we need constant? String compare is to compare thing only, not to comment. So therefore, the assumption here is anyone that input the string in, the function are not allowed to change it. Okay? Because you only want to compare, not going to comment. Number functional programming cannot be changed to fundamental of electronics, something like that. Okay? So therefore, I put constant means that nobody inside this function, the line inside this function cannot change to other words. Therefore, constant. So it means that first three is fundamental of programming means fundamental programming. If this one is fundamental electronic means electronic. Okay? Nobody able to change. Okay? So this is part you get to basically define, just read through it, you go through before, ask user to create first string, get the string, ask user to create second string, get the string, and then immediately call two functions. Okay, one is the C library one is the home one. Home one you can see very short. Okay? Similar, the for loop is the same, except that I want to focus on is this guy here. Can someone tell me what is this statement mean? First string, followed by asterisk means I want to access the value A. But because I want to protect it, I need to do something called type casing, means that this is a string, okay, that's for character start. And then I unsigned because A is a positive number called 65. Okay, so if someone change to negative 65, I must convert that. So it's unsigned. Okay, because I want to positive. Unsigned, constant means that I do not want anyone to change. If A is 65 means 65. Nobody can change to B. Okay? Similarly, here is B. If it's really B, means B. Nobody can change to C or A. So they will put constant. Okay, so this is how you remember. Okay, okay, then so this is question 3. It really come up, and of course, as mentioned, definitely cannot be 100% the same. It may be asked you to do something. Really go through. Therefore, you also need to study something called, as mentioned in the lecture notes on Monday lecture. We say that you also need to study something called command line argument. You already do that in your quiz 2. Okay, so therefore that should not be a problem. Okay. So what are 3 questions? 3B. 3A is what? 3A as mentioned. You go to your forum participation, see what is the question that related to string and pointer. Right? So some questions like, I think I asked the question before, one pointer variable, one pointer constant. So if I understand what it is two, and what's array. Right? Array is what pointer constant. Right? So all this definition, understand why is it. Okay? Okay, so that is question 3B. So lastly we go to question 4. So what is question 4? Question 4, so we finished already. Tutorial 3, question 1, tutorial 4, question 2 and 3, 50% charge. Tutorial 8, tutorial 9, question 1 and 3, 50% charge, 50-50. So the last one, tutorial 10, we skip. Again, tutorial 10 already somehow tested in the quiz 2 already. Okay, and of course that one you talk each file, not tested. Okay, so we go to the last one called tutorial 11. Tutorial 11 is talking about what? Struct variable, which you will see through your quiz 2, question 4, we have this struct variable. Okay. So tutorial 4 and tutorial 11, right, only got one question, which means what? Diagram will come out now. Only one question. We only go through one question. Okay? So this only question belongs to chapter 11, only one. Which means that it will come up, right? In different form. Right? This question will come up but in a very watered down version. Right? So it will not be so complicated. Okay, it is a narrowed down version. Okay. So let me brief again for those that at time have no may not have patience to listen because we focus on assignment. So now assignment finished already passed already. Now I'm talking about basic. Okay, basic means that you need to score. So this question itself is a real life application. Is whatever you implement in your phone right now. So in your Android phone or iOS phone. So you're going to collect as Gemarco, your favorite math teacher, that teach you vector. Everything in the space can represent 3 coordinates x, y, z. Yeah. So therefore, every point is x, y, z. So example from here, from her is 1 point x, y, z. Second point x, y, z. All the way I want to measure all the way to the other end is another x, y, z. So I can create 100 of this x, y, z. But x, y, z is no such thing for x, y, z. You need to create yourself. It's a new data type. So therefore, in this question, I need to create a new data type that is called point. Okay, whatever name. I don't know what Gemarco give you the name. To me, I call it point. Okay, for simplicity. I don't know what is the math terminology used for you, but to me, I call it point. Okay, a point that consists of 3 coordinates x, y, z. Okay, so I need to create a own data type called struct data type called x, y, z, and then eventually I have an array of 100 because I want to calculate, example, a red car. Point by point, what is the distance? Point by point, what is the distance? Get point until the end. Okay, so what it means is that quickly I show you what I say that is I want to create a data point, okay, called XYZ 3D point. Okay, just a name, whatever name you want to call. Okay, a data type called 3D point that consists of XYZ. Then later on, because I want to calculate 1,000s of points, okay, point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, all the way to point 1,000. Okay? So therefore I need to create an array of 1,000 values. Okay? And every element itself is a struct of x, y, z. Okay? So therefore I need to create. So this is general what we're talking about, okay, in the tutorial. And of course, point by point, example, point by point, example. Okay, so example, I have point 1 to point 2, then point 2, point 3, point 4, point 5, all the way to point 999, all the way to point 10, 1000. So So point by point, this one Chicago I teach you already, right? Greater distance. Okay, you complete already. Pythagoras theorem in 3D. Okay, if 2D will be just Pythagoras theorem. If 3D will be point equivalent distance x. So what it means is that what we need to do is 0.2 x minus 0.1 x. Okay, then square. Okay, plus 0.2 y minus 0.1 y, then square. Plus s2 0.2 x z minus 0.1 z, then square. Then square root, that will give you the distance here by Pythagoras theorem. Okay, point by point. So example 0.9999. Okay, or rather distance is basically 0.1000. This point here, the x minus the s of 0.999 for the x. For the y, also this point, the y here minus the y here. Okay, then square. And then the z here minus the z here square root. That is called the distance in 3D. So in exam, I'm not sure 2D or 3D. Can be 2D, can be 3D. So 2D don't have the z, 3D have the z, that's all. Okay? Up to you to figure out. Okay? 2D?
Like 3D is
Yeah, 2D also can be GPS. Example, in your Google Map, right? Google Map will be street view, frame view. Google Map can be 3D, 2D, right? 2D means S and Y only. 3D means S, Y, Z. Got the height. Yeah. Formula will give. Okay, similar to just now the tutorial, but even more clearer. Okay, more clearer. And can someone tell me, of course the answer is here, if I want to find the total distance from the home to Nanyang Poly, how to add the distance? Basically it's D1 plus D2 plus D3 all the way D999. And don't have D1000 because it's always minus 1. Okay. So this guy here, so far clear, before I go on. So down here, you will see the question, very complicated. So I say that we did it a lot. In the exam, it's very watered down, super watered down. Okay. What down here is create a struct variable called create a struct data type. Okay. Called 3D point XYZ. Okay. This is the first one just now mentioned. Then this one also says that please create 2D or 3D data type, but in exam only one, 2D or 3D. Okay. So we don't have both. Okay. So this one is watered down. And then at the same time, it also asks you to calculate function, use function to read the GPS data, use function to calculate the 2D and 3D. As mentioned, in exam, only 2D or 3D. Only one, only calculate both. In the exam, you can print out only one, 2D or 3D. Total distance travel, and of course, we don't need to calculate the memory. So down here, I only give you the source code. So what does that mean? Someone asked me pseudocode. I say no need. No need means what? Huh? So I say no need to study pseudocode. Okay? So only C code. So this question will come out will be 100% C code. Or rather, will come up. Okay? Question 4 will come up. It's will be watered down question.
okay.
No pseudocode. But then it's good. I like you because you already mastered the pseudocode.
You pro already.
I'm pro already, right? I didn't write pseudocode. He can write for you. Okay, maybe you write for me then we see correct.
Oh, I challenge you.
Correct. So down here, I was told that your exam is Monday for maths. Then you have a lot of time before this exam, and then Friday is off, right? So for my course, because you only study 6 questions, study 4 only. As this question 4 will come up. Well, right now you roughly know which 4 will come up. So 4 versus 4. So that means you only spend 1 hour, 2 hours study only. So 1 hour study. No, that means that you need for a lot of hours. So please spend time, because this code already given to you, please spend time to make it like an exam version.
But it's not 130 something.
No, that's why I say please spend time to become an exam version. So this is a tutorial. So you know exam is what only watered down. So please produce a watered down version.
2D or 3D?
So I think your early group 1 already come out already just now. He already amend. I don't know. Early morning one is T1, T2. Your one is what? T1, T2. T1 already come out.
Come on, what?
The water down portion.
How?
You already amend already. Who? I don't know what his name was. Okay.
Who? Student lah.
Huh? I don't know. One of the guy. Yeah.
He water down already.
Yeah.
T1 ah.
T1.
T1 ah.
Morning 10 o'clock. 10
Male or
o'clock.
female?
Male lah. T lah.
Chinese or Malay?
Chinese.
Okay. Wear glasses or no need
Wear
glasses?
glasses.
Huh? Got glasses ah?
No. I think got wear hat. I don't know.
Wear hat ah?
Yeah.
That one easy to find.
You should find.
Wear hat ah.
So as mentioned, now here is going to be created in the exam. As mentioned just now with the picture, Microsoft picture, what you need to do is create example in 2D, then it will be X and Y. Create a data type called point 3D. In exam it will be point 2D, okay? And then in point 2D will be X and Y. Point 3D will be X, Y, Z. So best is practice instead of 3D because 2D just minus Z only. So down here, we create one variable, one data type called point 3D. At the same time, we create another data type called 2D distance.
If let's say 2D, the last one you need to
So 2D, right, means that I have coordinate example 1,000 points. I also have the distance because distance is 999, right? So this one needed total distance add together. So these three is always together one. Okay. Then depend. Question is either 2D or 3D. One of them need to be related. Okay. So delete away. And this one no need because I say we don't need that unit. So this one together is this one. So our first step means what? Your function prototype. Okay. Down here same, but then instead of union becomes struct because no more union. Everything only one. Okay. Okay. So this is struct. Okay. Then down here in the main program, when you declare variable, because that time is data type only, you define data type, but you haven't declared variable. So therefore, you define a variable called distance travel. A pointer that's point to distance travel is so-called data type called equivalent distance. Okay, but for us, it's 2D or 3D. No more union. Okay, just struct. Okay. So therefore, choice only because you don't need to choose choice. So this also delete. Okay. So therefore, this program, if you choose yourself, 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, you can amend correctly already. Okay. Just now, I think he amend, I think 5 minutes finish already.
He made the secret.
You amend secret based on this one.
Where cap ah?
Okay, you have the answer already. You can work already. And share. I think you have. Who is the class rep? I don't know which is class rep. The mechanical. This mechanical. So, you can help them together. Who is the one to find this one?
Overall code. Whatever can find ah.
Who? Which guy? What the name?
Where cap?
Okay. So if you want to amend, right, when you free the time, you maybe
Small guy right?
tall guy, but.
Tall lah.
So example, if you really change, right, this one will be okay 2D, I delete away. Okay, example. Okay, delete away. Then this one 3D, maybe this one also delete away. Okay. So we have this guy here, right? And then because you only have 3D, so this guy needs to change to 3D. Okay, 3D. So simple. Example. Then this guy also change to 3D. Then no more union, it's a struct into struct. Just give a strength example. Okay. Then you see now it's okay already. So this one also struct. Okay. So now it's all 3D. Okay. This one also struct. So all the union you change to struct will be okay already. Okay. So this is a good way for you to practice. Okay. Okay. So you see everything changed 3D. Of course you have highlighter because behind is a function prototype. Down here also need to change. Respective one need to change to so-called 3D. So it will become okay already. It's one way to change. So therefore, it's talking about amending. It disappear already. So here also, struck. Number 3D.
Inside video. This one not what you is it? You're changing for us.
No, just example only. Okay, so if I change for you, means belong already. So you see here, everything nice already. So this is one way. From there, the rest you all amend yourself. Okay, amend a little bit or struck, then the program will change. You are good at changing. Okay? So with this in front, you know that the rest follows. Okay? So this is in front is talking about function prototype. In front is talking about what? Defining the data type. Okay? So next step is in the main program, you just need to assign accordingly. Example, first one is talking about create a function, or rather create a so-called variable called distance travel, a variable pointer called pointer distance travel. That is a data type called equivalent distance. Okay, so therefore create a new data type. Okay. At the same time, next part is you assign the address. Make sure the pointer point to this distance travel. Of course, you don't need to have choice. But you need to have choice. Okay, so therefore you see the rest is only scan F because as mentioned, I don't even need to double cover. Okay, so this is the bit of that. Okay, so therefore in the main program, you are only reading data, calculate distance, printing distance. Okay, finish. Right? Okay.
The guy Augustine.
I don't know what's the name.
Nama, I think it's him.
Some guy.
I can't say his name. I go find you later.
Okay, so as mentioned, rating point is 1000 value. So you can see here 2D, 3D. Okay, is basically is this part here. I don't want to teach you. You or rather, you can see that how to enter this GPS coordinate. So your task is to maybe how to amend this code such that it works. Okay, enter XYZ. Okay, either one of them, 2D or 3D. Then you program when you calculate distance. As you see here, it's a part of calculate distance. Okay, the distance itself is 2D or 3D. If it's 3D, you will have the Z component. If you see 3D, will have the Z component. 2D will have the Z. Okay. This system minus the previous distance is X. This system minus the previous distance of Y. This system Z minus the previous distance of Z. Okay. And then everything about square. Okay. Then after that square root. Okay. Square root and then form distance. Okay. So therefore, keep total distance, keep adding. Okay. So this part I will leave it to you. Okay, so eventually point out. So these questions that will come up, you make sure that you know how to amend. Okay? Okay. Okay. So here also no need to integer because I don't need to select choice.
The website 1,000.
Depend on the question,
10,000.
10,000. Now it's 5 only. Okay, because it's illustration. So you see here, no choice, no need. But no need choice. And then you see why it's so short because I only have the use case already. Okay, if I delete 3D right, delete 2D right, this guy here totally disappear. There's only one. Okay.
Cannot visualize that.
Wait. It's like run a normal code. The what?
See, disappear already. So you only have.
You need to have the point.
So if
10,000 means 10,000 times they need to.
yeah. Well, this is just to emulate. In actual case, it's the GPS key for you. Now is you just emulate the user key now. Okay, you can see now the read actually read point will only very short, only one few lines. This one if you delete the switch case only similar.
So if 2D, I just remove the Z one.
Right. And for this one, no problem. You need to make sure change. Your friend already know how to change already. Okay. So therefore, you must know how to practice to change this so-called program. mark. Okay, so one so-called 100% word version from your friend, so you share. Okay, or you both or you all can change yourself. Okay, the problem statement extension is to create. Okay, make sure you know how to create. This guy, right? Make sure you know how to create 10,000 points or whatever points. Everyone is XYZ and then calculate the distance of the game. Okay, that's the purpose. To release the actual GPS coordinate learning. Okay, being grab or being whatever. Okay, so that's all for question 4B. Question 4A extension. Please refer to the so-called forum participation, or I didn't post anything about so many quiz, so many assignments. Last time until 2 a.m. things on you, I don't know who. 2 a.m. I know some of you who until 2 a.m. and submit. Okay. So therefore I didn't post anything. So as mentioned in the tutorial during Monday, I asked you to read chapter 11. Chapter 11, all this definition is tested. Example, tag definition, what is it used for? Example, all this definition will be in chapter 11, example, tag definition. All the question C will be those that have the brain or question mark. Okay. So definitely, passing, you already passed. It's only how to score. Okay, what grade you want. Okay. So pass already given how to score. Okay. So the other thing is, the other thing is, I was told by the admin just yesterday. So I think there is a module feedback, please feedback accordingly. Okay. So I will send an announcement according to them.